We're moving on into the night of day one of NBA free agency here. Harrison Graham and Chase Sr. Let's get you guys caught up on the latest Golden State Warriors news and rumors. They did lose a free agent. We'll talk about that first, and then got to talk about some other guys that they could be bringing back, Chase. Juan Toscano-Anderson is going to stay on the West Coast, but not with Golden State. He will be heading to the Lakers. Details to be determined, probably a vet minimum contract.
Yeah, it's going to be a vet minimum contract for a guy who really wasn't a big contributor for the Golden State Warriors last year. Now, 2 years ago, he got a little bit more run because the Warriors weren't that title contending team that they were this past year en route to the NBA championship. JTA will be known for his story. He had international offers back a couple years ago to make a lot more money playing overseas. Instead, him growing up in a porous environment, he struggled during his childhood. He had that dream of becoming an NBA player, and he was able to become an NBA player, and last year got that contract from Golden State. But for him, maybe it's an opportunity to maybe crack a rotation for the Lakers, get some more playing time. You have that great experience with the Warriors. He was known for being such a lively and colorful figure on the bench, in the locker room, and I think a lot of people are going to miss him for those reasons. But on the floor this past year, 4 points per game, you're not really missing that much for him signing with Los Angeles. This is more of a cultural loss for the Golden State Warriors, and in addition, for the Lakers on the back end of that bench.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, a couple years ago, he took advantage of an opportunity where the Warriors were just killed with injuries. He comes in there, plays well enough to get a contract, and now he's getting a deal with LA, so good for him. But to your point, I mean, he played 0 significant playoff minutes for Golden State. Yeah. Literally 0. I think he got in some mop-up time a couple of times. But this was not a key figure moving forward. He gets a deal with L.A., but the Warriors, not really an on-the-court type of loss here as they progress with their offseason. Now, Warriors fans, we're trying to get to 35,000 subscribers.
Just surpassed 34
round
tonight.
Of applause.
Let's
we
go.
hit 34,000. You guys are crushing it. Dub Nation, we're on a roll on this channel.
Yes, we are.
It's historic proportions here at Chat Sports, and keep the momentum going. If you like this video, subscribe, spread the word, youtube.com/WarriorsTV. Something tells me we're going to be hitting 35,000 subs very soon. Appreciate you guys. Hit that subscribe button. All right, Chase, a couple of free agents that Golden State looking to bring back. We'll start with Kevon Looney. This has been in the works for a couple of days. Sounds like could be back on a multi-year deal. What's the latest here on Looney?
Looks as though, according to Mark Stein, that Kevon Looney is going to return to Golden State. And this is what we've been talking about all throughout the week from what we've been hearing and what the reports are out there. And I think it's a smart move for Looney to come back where he has familiarity and he's carved out a role and he's been such an instrumental figure in helping lead the Warriors to 4 championships over the last 8 years. And for Golden State, I think it's important to bring him back because you can't rely on James Wiseman to be readily available because throughout his career in 2 years, he hasn't been readily available. And this past year, he did not play a single game. We'll see if he plays an NBA Summer League. There are still some questions there. But for Kevon Looney, just a glue guy. A guy who does the necessary things and always finds himself to be in the right position at the right time. And in that second-round series against the Dallas Mavericks in the Western Conference semifinals, or in the Western Conference finals, excuse me, but in that second-round series against the Grizzlies,
he was tremendous.
And in the first-round series against the Nuggets, you saw him put his imprint on games. And against a team like the Mavericks that lacked some quality front court players, Kevon Looney extended possessions. He was there for rebounds, and he was a rebounding machine against a team in Dallas that lacked that size in the front court. He was able to pick them apart, and his read on where the ball is going off the rim and off the backboard is really uncanny. Now, the big question for Kevon Looney, how much is he going to get paid? I've seen some speculation out there. It could be around $10 million. It's a lot of money for Kevon Looney, but for a guy who's been a part of this dynasty, literally, and has been a crucial figure in the Warriors' success, guy's got 4 rings since being selected out of UCLA. What a route that he's been on. If you bring him back, that really is an amazing journey for him, and it continues if he is able to get retained by Golden State.
Yeah, it sounds like multi-year deal upwards of up to $10 million. I think somewhere between $5 and $10 million per year, somewhere where he's going to fall in. Maybe a happy medium of $7 to $7.5 million. And look, if we know one thing about this Warriors brass, They're willing to pay, man. Their tax bill might be $500 million this year, but listen, the net worth of the franchise was $500 million when Steph Curry got drafted. It's now, I think, $6 billion. So I think they could pay for these championships, and that's what they're doing. Kevon Looney played a key role. I'm not sure, Chase, they win a title without him this past year.
Seriously.
He was critical in that Memphis series. He played well against the Mavericks as well. Wasn't as needed against Boston just because of matchups, but his rebounding is tremendous. He can score around the basket. Great screen setter, which is super valuable for this team because these guys are flying around. Clay, Steph, these guys coming off picks. Also, Jordan Poole. So Looney coming back, I think, is important. And like you said, we don't know what's going to happen with James Wiseman moving forward. If you want the Warriors to re-sign Kevon Looney, just get the loons going in the comments. Loon! Get them back.
That's the loon noise.
Get Looney Tunes back in the Bay. Get those loons going down below. Also, GP2, you could almost argue long-term, this is the more valuable one. Warriors give him a chance. He shows them that he's worthwhile. I thought, Chase, when Steve Kerr got him back into the rotation in the NBA Finals, it's kind of when the series started to shift back in their favor. Great defender, I think a player that can continue to improve.
Yeah, when he went out, there was legitimate concern from the Warriors brass that they weren't going to be able to make it through the rigors of an NBA playoff slate because of the premier wings that they were going up against and slated to go up against depending on the matchups with which teams were going to win those respective playoff series. And that's how valuable Gary Payton II is. And what an incredible story for Kevon Looney, maybe even more incredible for Gary Payton II. He gets undrafted out of Oregon State. He goes back and forth between the G League and NBA level with a couple of franchises. And last year started to really make some headway as a guy who could be a rotational piece. Then this year proves to be that guy. Shot at points this season around 40% from three. The total regular season numbers were below that. But nowadays at the NBA level, wings are the hardest positions to guard. They're the most looked after and sought after positions in free agency and the draft, and you need guys who can defend wings. And at 6'3", you might look at Gary Payton II and say he's a little bit undersized, but he does not play that way. He plays so much larger than how he actually stands, and that's so valuable. And at times for the Warriors, he was playing small ball 5 this year. Like there's no doubt about that. Alley-oops, backdoor cuts, good passer out of the high post, and occasional corner three, a throwdown in transition, and a guy who is a great cultural fit and a great player development story in the Warriors player development program, which continues to be one of, if not the best across the NBA.
So, will the Golden State Warriors repeat as NBA champions? Type Y for yes, type in for no. Get your votes in down in the comment section. And before we sign off on this segment here on Golden State Warriors Today, we got to talk Kevin Durant, Chase. I think we're on the same page here. I don't think the Warriors will trade for him, but he has requested a trade, and we do know that Golden State has the assets to do it. Wouldn't expect it, but if they wanted to, they could at least entertain it.
And we've heard Draymond Green talk about Kevin Durant on the Draymond Green podcast and him nationally. I think there is a level of respect there, and they also did reconcile some of their differences in an appearance together on camera that we talked about on Warriors Today back several months ago. I don't think the relationship between KD and Golden State is severed. I don't think it's in a contentious place where it cannot be repaired. Honestly, the Warriors, though, won a championship without KD. And given how competitive Steph, Clay, Draymond, Bob Myers, Steve Kerr are, and knowing that they won a title without KD's services, I think they want to prove that they can continue to survive without Kevin Durant. Now, they do have the necessary pieces to trade for KD. We broke this down previously. Financially, there are some deals that can work. If you include a James Wiseman, Moses Moody, Jonathan Kuminga, Jordan Poole, Andrew Wiggins, and some first-round picks, you can get KD because, honestly, this is how good the Warriors are run, and this is how well their roster is stacked up. The Warriors' trade proposals could be some of the best across the entire NBA. But to take on that salary at his age and then kind of eliminate the plan that you had set in place, which was build now, and for the future, which really hasn't been done before, you'd be throwing that out the window. I think they're going to move forward with the young assets.
And I think, just final thought on this, I don't think Durant wants to go back there.
Yeah.
Not that he's bitter.
It'd be awkward for him.
To leave Golden State and then basically admit, yeah, I was wrong, take me back. I just don't think he's going to do it.
Yeah.
I don't think it makes sense for him and his legacy. So I don't think it'll happen. But that is the latest on KD as he has requested a trade. Subscribe, Dub Nation, youtube.com/WarriorsTV.